Greetings, students and families. This is Mr. Morita today with a screencast video tutorial on every single step students take as we progress through our module lesson learning cycle. It's a 2-day cycle, so on day 1 we will typically engage the material for the first time with the lesson video and take notes and complete a homework assignment. Day 2 will be a solutions check for the homework assignment and a homework quiz. So let's get started. On day 1 of the cycle, you'll log into Zoom, typical greetings, hey, how are you? And then I will send you guys on your way to the lesson video. So to access that, the first step is to open up your Google Classroom. Now, again, I created my own student accounts for these, so for the purposes of this video, so that you guys can see from the student's perspective exactly what you should be seeing. So you're going to open up, obviously, my Dunder Mifflin class is a math class in a way. So you're going to go to my math class, my Google Classroom, and then you're going to go to classwork at the bottom there. And in my math class, obviously, there will be a ton more assignments organized by week. But for the purposes of this video, I only have this one here. So it's titled EdPuzzle Math 7 Lesson 1.1 Adding Integers with the Same Sign. So each lesson video assignment on EdPuzzle, I title with the lesson number and the name of the lesson, just so it's easier for you guys to differentiate the different lessons. So you want to open up the assignment by clicking on it. It's going to open up the assignment page with the instructions. So students will complete the EdPuzzle lesson for 1.1 during class today. We're going to demo lesson 1.1 since I have all the materials already done for it. And the instructions are the same for every single lesson. So the only difference is the lesson number and lesson title. So when you're done with the lesson notes and the homework, you will take a picture of the completed 1.1 homework assignment in your math notebook. I forgot to mention here that it should be in pencil. And then you're going to submit that picture to this assignment. Once your homework is complete and submitted, you will be able to retake the 1.1 homework quiz as many times as you want. And again, that goes for every single lesson we cover. All the steps are just, you can copy and paste them to each lesson. Finally, we will go over the homework and solutions in class tomorrow. Then you will take the 1.1 homework quiz on my.hrw.com. So back to the video lesson, we're going to open up the link at the bottom of the page where it says attachments. Okay, you see an EdPuzzle link. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to ask them which web browser to open with. You can use Google Chrome if you want. It works just fine with Safari, especially on student iPads. And the great thing about EdPuzzle is you don't need to create an account or anything. As long as you are joined to the correct Google Classroom, you will have direct access to the EdPuzzle lessons that I link to each of those Google Classroom classes. So you can see here our video lesson. Each of these little teardrop things at the bottom of the page here, those are pauses, breaks in the lesson that students are either required to answer a question or stop to take notes. So we're going to go through this. I'm going to play the video. Greetings and welcome, students, to 1.1 adding integers. So I'm going to turn the volume down. Actually, I'm going to turn the volume off. And I am going to sit through this. So if you're watching this video tutorial, feel free to skip around through this part. But I do want you, the students, and the parents to see what it's like to take one of these video lessons or engage in one of these video lessons. So as you can see, it's just a 5-minute video. But right now, the voiceover is basically reading the notes you see on the screen and explaining the skills that students will need and that they will learn for this lesson. And once we get to the first couple of teardrops, these are just pauses in the video to allow students to take notes. Well, this first one is actually a question. It says, what types of numbers are included in the set of integers? Select 1. And if you did your due diligence with your Module 1 vocabulary definitions, you will know that the correct answer is all of the above, or below, or sideways. So here you can see we got the answer correct, 100 out of 100. Now we can continue. Now the beauty of EdPuzzle again is students are not allowed to skip forward in these lessons. Students might not like that, but I certainly do. That forces the students to actually pay attention and be able to answer these questions. And let's continue. So right now it's going to get to another quick stop. So this is what I was talking about. This is a note break where on the screen you can see the notes that the students should be copying down in your math notebook. And once we're done with the video lesson, I'll show you exactly what that looks like. We can just press continue to move on. And we come to our first example problem. So each of the example problems, I will stop and have the students predict what the answer is. So here, let's put try on your own. Let's see, -8 plus -1. Looks like we're going to add these. So I'm going to put -9, and let's see if we got it right. And we did. So once we do that, we can move on in the video, and then you'll hear me explain work for these very simple problems. As you know, in your homework and your notes for the examples, you are required to show work. So as you can see, all of the numbers in these in this lesson today, we will be adding. I just like to draw this little triangle here. It's not really a triangle, this little arrow. And this is helpful later. I put the sign that we are using, the sign of the operation that we're using to combine these numbers, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, I go over each example problem in detail, step by step, so that students have a great understanding of how to do each problem. Now, we will be going through all 4 of these, and I'm going to see in editing if I can make it go a little bit time lapse. I think I could speed up the playback here. So if that's the case, I will do it. If not, then you get to sit through a lesson like the students get to see. And if you are a student, you get to see it again. Hooray. All right, so -9, we were right. Let's try the second one. Now, let's go with -10. I already know the answers, but I want to just, for the purposes of this video, try to get through this as quickly as possible. You will notice also there's a rewatch option at the bottom of the screen. Sorry, I didn't mean to press that, but it will take you to the previous teardrop, not to the beginning of the video. So if a student comes to a question in the one of those multiple choice questions and they don't know the answer, but they want to make sure to get it correct, they can press that rewatch button and it'll go back to the beginning of that section. So if they missed anything, they zoned out, the dog ran through the house barking and created a great ruckus, you can always go back and rewatch from the previous section. All right, this one looks like a nice, easy, round 100 plus 91 plus 9 is 100. So we're going to go with positive 300. Yay, we got it right. Didn't even need a calculator. Woo! Impressed? Well, you shouldn't be. Let's move on. Oh, I know, we're missing out on some great Mr. Morita voiceover right now. I'm sure I've told at least 6 hilarious jokes by this point in the video lesson. Actually, I try to keep my humorous jokes to a minimum. I don't want to distract you from your learning with a bunch of inane laughter. You know, that's just my teaching philosophy. Okay, so as you can see, I'm showing you a little bit of scratch work here. Of course, when you guys do your homework in your math notebooks, you have plenty of scratch space to do some work on the side. You should be taking advantage of that. Please don't use a calculator. That doesn't help you. Please don't try doing mental math because I do require that you show work. So if you're going to get credit for it, you might as well just put it on the page and show it out the way I do there. Okay, the final one. Let's go with a random guess of, I don't know. Oh man, we missed it. I should have checked my answers more carefully. Mr. Morita, please show us why we would get a negative instead of a positive. Well, students, because both integers you're adding are negative, the sign of the integer stays. Wow, that might be what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to keep this commentary entertaining. Is it working? Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so a little bit more adding, and we are boop, boop, close to the finish, negative 145. Oh, that makes more sense now. Look at that. I have just learned from one of my mistakes exactly what students should be going through in the learning process. Easy, right? That's right, Mr. Marita, so easy. I can't believe this is junior high school math. So fun. All right, let's see what I'm saying now. More challenging. I don't know if challenging is the right word, but yeah, we're just kind of talking about um, uh, the uh, the difficulty level of the lesson mostly. Okay, at the end of every video lesson on EdPuzzle, you will see the homework assignment for that night. That's very important because step 2 of the learning cycle, which will be coming up in a separate video, we will go through. I will show you how to find that and where to get that information. Okay, so it looks like we have one more multiple choice question coming up at the end that we want to get correct. Ooh, what was the learning goal for today's lesson? Okay, this is always, you can find this in the lesson notes. It's at the top, so hopefully we have a good eidetic memory. Students will learn how to fall asleep during math class. Maybe, but probably not. Students will learn to add integers with different signs. That doesn't really sound right. I think it's students will learn to add integers with the same sign. Ta-da, we did it. Okay, so we press continue, and now we are done. It's very important that you watch to the end of the video, and it will tell you when you're done by literally saying you are done. You can show the results, so you can see your accuracy rating here. We completed 100% of the video. That's the important part. And also, it will show you your correct responses. So this is also important because I require that students get a grade of 60% or better in order to get completion credit for the lesson. That's right. I will not allow you to just simply randomly guess on the multiple choice questions and get credit for completing, because really that's not a really very good learning process. So I do want you guys to be engaged. I do want you to pay attention. So earn greater than 60%, which should be easy for these videos. And that is completion credit for the EdPuzzle. You do get completion credit on PowerSchool for EdPuzzle lessons. So that's why it's important that you complete the videos and get 60% or better. Okay, stand by for video number 2 on downloading the textbook pages and completing the homework. See you next time.